Good evening, everyone, and welcome to class. This is your first class, actually. So welcome to class. It's nice having everyone here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. So we're going to give you guys 5 minutes so that everybody can join the class. So because we have about over 900 students and there are only 100 students here. So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to join the class. Every other person, if you know somebody that is here to join the class, kindly inform them so that they can join. And don't forget to drop your names in the chat box for your attendance. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. I trust we are well. Welcome, cohort 18, to the Politeracy class of 2025. This is the 18th cohort, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you join us today. As mentioned initially, when you come into the Zoom call, please ensure that your name is changed and it's properly addressed the way you would like to see it on your certificate. Place them in the chat box, and the pseudo-political parties you have all been assigned. Okay, I believe that we've all joined our respective groups and we are our respective parties, and we are all settling in nicely. Today we start the Electoral College Cohort 18 class, and today we will be handling Introduction to Politeracy. Our facilitator is in class, and I will quickly go through her bio so that you have an understanding of who we are going to be listening to today. Usually our classes are Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, as you have all been briefly briefly told, and you would also be given a brief orientation shortly after this class. Usually takes about an hour, 30 minutes. If you have questions or thoughts as the classes are ongoing, please note them down. After the facilitator is done, I will then come up to ask you to indicate by raising up your hand, or if you don't want to forget your questions, you can still place them in the chat box. I would go on ahead to pick out those questions during the question and answer and feedback session, okay? All right, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining once again. My name is Adeshola Alade Shawi. I will be your moderator for today's class. I will go through our facilitator's bio quickly so that you have an idea of who we are meeting today. Our facilitator today to take us on Introduction to Politeracy and Governance is none other than Lisa Wumi Hassan Bello. She is a distinguished Nigerian professional with a diverse background and expertise. She is a graduate in biochemistry with a postgraduate diploma in psychology. Her career spans various sectors, highlighting her versatility. Lisa Wumi began her professional journey as an on-air personality at Uniloring FM, and she later transitioned to Heritage Bank Limited as a funds transfer officer. In 2020, which is the COVID year, she took on roles as the creative director and head of operations at Dan Hausawa Media Nigeria, which served as a stepping stone to her founding her own company, Elspeak Media. Wumi's commitment to community service is evident through her establishment of the nonprofit organization War Against Rape and Sexual Abuse, where she has been instrumental in sensitizing youth and supporting victims of rape and abuse in Nigeria and globally, if I may add. In 2022, she became the Deputy Executive Director and Head of Politeracy at the Electoral College Nigeria, overseeing politeracy and leadership programs. Her work within the college has resulted in the political education of over 10,000 individuals, and she is also a Vital Voices Global Fellow. She is fluent in English and proficient in Yoruba and Hausa. She excels in communication and leadership. Her hobbies include reading, creative thinking, writing, traveling, and meeting new people. She is happily married and blessed with 2 energetic children. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's make welcome, and with a warm round of applause with emojis, please let's welcome our facilitator for today, Lisa Wumi Hassan Bello, to take us on Introduction to Politeracy and Governance. I'm very sure you will have a beautiful time. Thank you. And let's welcome our facilitator. Over to you, Ma. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Adeshola. Thank you, everyone. Please confirm you can hear and see me.
Can see you, hear you.
Okay, awesome. So it's amazing to be here with the 18th cohort. We're doing this for the 18th time. This is to officially welcome you all We have maxed out at 100. So for those who are unable to join, if you have your colleagues that are unable to join, please tell them to join via YouTube. All right, it's streaming live via YouTube. So this is to welcome you all. At the end of the class, we're still going to officially welcome everybody. And we're going to give you the ground rules. I'm sure you've already gone through our ground rules. That was posted, the Politeracy cohort rules. It was posted, I think, 2 days ago. So please, if you haven't gone through that, make sure you do that so that you can familiarize yourself with what is expected of you during your stay in the college. All right, so I'll be taking a very brief class so that afterwards we'll have the proper onboarding. We're going to set the ground rules. We're going to tell you what to expect from this course. We're going to tell you the requirements for you to graduate. And we're also going to introduce the members of the team. As you go along during the course, you get to interface with some or not, right? Right, so as Shola mentioned, I am Lisa Wumi Hassan-Bello. I am the Deputy Executive Director, and I am also the Head of Politeracy for the college. It's a privilege being with you all this evening. All right, so let's go straight to our class for today. I will just share my slides. Please give me a minute. Please, it's important that you always join the Zoom call with the name you registered with, because that is the only way we can know that you were present in class. So make sure that your registered name, for those who join with maybe the names of their phones, Techno, iPhone, and all that, please make sure that you change it to your registered name so that we can capture your attendance. So that at the end of the course, you won't say, oh, but I was in class, but yet it's not showing. So please always make sure that you change your name to how you want it to be, especially on your certificates. That is very, very important. All right, so before my slides come up, classes are Friday, Saturday, Sunday by 5 p.m. So mark out that on your calendar for the next 10 weeks, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And also during the week, you're going to get task. That's group task in your respective parties. I'm sure a lot of us have joined our parties already. For those who are yet to, please join your party, because that is the only way that you would actually graduate. Participation is required for you to graduate, not just attendance, but also participation. So please, let's take note of that. Also, for those who had issues with joining their parties or who did not find their names, please make sure you reach out to the admin so that that can be sorted. Because by Mondays, assignments are going to start dropping on the various parties. We're not going to drop anything on the main group except the class flyer and the class link. So all the participation that you'll be doing will be on your respective parties. So please note that it is very important for you to join your party. And also, please join the party that you were assigned. Do not join just any party that you feel like or the party that you currently are. It's just a simulation. It doesn't mean that because you're in PDP in real life and then you are assigned to Labour Party, that means that you're not in your party. No. So you have to make sure that you join the party that you were assigned in. Adeshola, I'm having a bit of trouble sharing my slides. Could I send it across to you?
Okay, because I'm joining with my phone, I could attempt that. Please send it across to me. Let me see if I could.
Okay.
Please send to me.
Okay. All right, and also you have team leads in the various parties. So if you have any issues, please go through your team leads. Do not chat the ED. Do not chat the DED. You have a manager of cohort. He will introduce himself on the different parties as soon as the party groups are open. His name is Mr. Tolu. So if you have any challenge, you chat him. And then we have deputy team leads on each of the group. We have Shola and we have Faith. So please, on no condition should anybody chat the ED directly. That is breaking of ranks. Shola, I've sent it to you. Thank you.
Okay, I've opened it now.
Also note that you'll be required to carry out an end of cohort project. Thank you. You're going to carry out an end of cohort project. So it's something that you should start discussing as soon as it gets shared into your various parties. Okay, for those that are on the Zoom, I can see some people saying that how would the attendance be captured? Don't worry, just write your name under the comments in the Zoom section to show that you actually attended, and we'll capture your attendance that way. But for those on the Zoom, you don't need to write your names. The Zoom will automatically record your names. But for those watching via YouTube, please put your attendance in the chat box and we'll capture it. All right, thank you so much, Shola. So we're going with introduction to politeracy and governance. What is politeracy? Politeracy is derived from combining the terms political and literacy. It is the education of the electorate on governance systems and processes so that they know what to demand of elected officials. So you hear politeracy 101. It's just combining of two words, political and literacy. This is teaching you about politics, teaching you about governance, teaching you about all the intricacies that you need to know. The truth is, like the ED will always say, you cannot engage a system you do not understand. We have noticed that a lot of Nigerians want to change things, but they do not know how because they don't even know how it works. So for example, now, you know, a legislator will say he wants to do a constituency project, which is not constitutional. But when he does it, you know, his constituents, they are so happy, you know, they feel like, oh, he's working, but that is not his job. His job is to go there and pass bills that would favor his people. So you have to know before you can actually effect change. And then the politeracy, like I said, is the education of the electorate. For those who are completely new in politics, I'm going to break down some of these terms for you so that you understand. So electorate is the person that is not in an elected office. So you and I are the electorate. Those in the elected offices are the elected officials, while the people that they are there to serve are the electorate. So politeracy is the education of the electorate on governance systems and processes so that they know what to demand of elected officials. And then method propagating politeracy, we have the formal education, which is similar to what you're having now. You registered for this course, you saw the advert, you registered for it. You want to learn more about politics, you want to learn more how the system works. So that's a way for you to actually learn. We've graduated over 17,000 students, you know, from the start of the college 6 years ago. So we have been able to make quite an impact in this space, and we're still looking to make even more impact. Another way is cultural influences. This is also very, very important because there are some things that it is just cultural, but it is actually not constitutional. A very popular one that, you know, we always love to use every cohort is the state of origin own, where everybody feels like you have to be from a particular state to contest in that state. But that is not constitutional. In the Constitution, it is not part of the requirements for you to run for president, you know, or for governor of a state. What are the requirements in the Constitution? It just says that you must be a citizen of Nigeria by birth. You must have attained the age of 35. You must be a member of a political party and be sponsored by that party. And you must have at least school certificates. That's your O-level certificates, you know, qualifications. So there's nowhere in the Constitution that it states that you have to be from a particular state for you to run in that state. Another way in which politeracy can be propagated is, of course, through the media. The media is a very powerful force, both the social media and the traditional media, which includes, our TV, our radio, and newspapers and all that. So these are avenues where you get to learn. Some of you, your interaction with politics and governance has been through the media. You read about what the president did, what the governor did, what the legislators are talking about, what bill is being passed, and all that. A lot of you here, your interaction majorly has probably been through the media, either online media, either through newspapers, through the TV, and all that. Another way of propagating political literacy is through political parties. Political parties are the only recognized vehicle so far in Nigeria for you to get to a political office. We do not have independent candidacy yet. So political parties are actually the only recognized vehicle to take you into an elected office. And then when we're talking about political parties, okay, I need to state here that all these different aspects of politics and governance will actually be taken as a subject on their own. They're going to be individual topics. So it's just a brief today. You don't need to want to know everything today. It's just an overview. So you have a class that will be on political parties as a whole. You have a class that will be on legislative, that will be on executive, and that will be on judiciary. So back to political parties, we have 3 different types of primaries. Please take note of this information because you're going to need it at the start of your group assignments. We have 3 different types of primaries. We have the direct primaries. This is when, a candidate is selected, not selected in that sense, but a candidate is voted for by members of the party, and then whoever has the highest votes becomes the flag bearer of that party. That is the direct primaries. And then we have the indirect primaries, which some of us are familiar with, which is the delegate system, where some choice members of the party come together. They are picked to represent the whole party, and they are the ones that now cast their votes for who the candidate of the party would be. And then we have the consensus. This is when no election whatsoever takes place. Everybody just agrees and say, this is the man or the woman we want to run for our party. All right. And then it's also important for you to know the difference between an aspirant and a candidate. An aspirant is the one who wants to aspire for a political office. So, for example, we have the 2027 elections coming up. We already have people that are already showing interest and declaring their intentions to run for offices on different levels, be it at the local government level, as a councillor, as a senator, as a governor of a state, whatever level it is that you want to run. Once you declare your interest, you are an aspirant, you're aspiring to that office. But when you now come into your political party and then your political party now says, oh yes, it is Shola that we want to run under party ABC. We've agreed that she would run on our behalf. Then you become a candidate. So before that, you're an aspirant, but as soon as your political party says you're the man or the woman for the job to run under their flag, to be their flag bearer, then you are a candidate. All right, so to the next slide, we have governance. Governance refers to how power is used in managing a country's human, material, and economic resources. Governance is simply how power is the political power, and how do you now use that political power to manage the country's human, material, and economic resources? When the people vote for you and say, oh, come and be our president, come and be our governor, come and be our local government chairman, and then you're a local government chairman of an area that is probably rich in minerals, limestone, lithium, and all that. How do you manage those resources that at the end of the day, the people in that area benefit from it? That area is developed. That area becomes better because you are in charge of managing those resources and you've managed it well. And this brings us to good governance. Governance is the process, while good governance is the measurement of how effective that process is. So governance is just you managing it. But before we can call it good governance, we have to have seen the effect of that management. So what are the metrics that we're using to measure this management? For example, before you came into office, we had 20,000 unemployed youths in your community. And then by the time you're leaving office, you've been able to maybe create jobs, job opportunities, job openings, maybe set up industries, that have been able to employ these people. You've been able to make them useful. And at the end of your tenure, we probably have just 7,000 youths that are unemployed. Now that is good governance because it is measurable. We can say, oh yes, this was not there when you came and now this is there. This was bad when you came, now this is better. So that is good governance. But unfortunately, a lot of democracies like ours, it's just governance we do. We just manage the system, but we really cannot see the outcomes of that management. Next, we go to the arms of governance. We have 3 arms of governance. We have the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. These 3 arms of governance are separated, and this is so that there will be accountability and there will be checks and balances, so that power is not just, contained in just one arm of government. They serve as checks and balances to one another, or they are supposed to actually serve as checks and balances, but a lot of times it's not, what is the case. So the executive, like I said earlier, all this will be individual classes themselves. Tomorrow you're going to be with the ED on the executive, and I assure you, you're going to have an amazing time. So the executives are the ones that are in charge of implementing and enforcing the laws. They serve as oversight, in governance. And the executives are the popular ones we know. We have the appointed, and then we have the elected. The elected, of course, are, the president, the governor, the local government chairman. Those are the executives at the federal level who are elected. And then for the appointed, we have the DGs, we have your executive secretaries, we have chairmen of parastatals, we have ministers, we have SAs, commissioners. Those are appointed, executives. Yeah. And then of course, for the local government, we also have their PAs, their SAs, their, secretaries of health, education, and all that. Those are appointed, while the local government chairman and his deputy are actually elected. And we also have, we have 3 arms of government, and then we also have 3 tiers of government. And then for those 3 tiers, those are the federal, the state, and the local government. One of the popular quotes of the executive director is that the local government is the first handshake with the people. A lot of us focus on the president. A lot of us focus on the executive at the federal level, but it is the executive at the state level, at the local government level, actually, that is closest to you. So if your roads are bad, it is your chairman that would know. It is your chairman that you're supposed to hold accountable. The president may have never been to your locality. He may have been to your state, but he may have never been to your own local government area. So how would you know that the roads are not fixed? But because the roads are not fixed, when you're driving your car and maybe you enter a deep ditch, you'll be like, oh, this president, he's not even working. But that is wrong, because it is your local government chairman that is not working. And because we have FAC allocations now that go directly to the local governments, accountability is even supposed to be, at an all-time high. If I ask a lot of us now, if we know our local government chairman, I'm sure, the responses would be 70-30, with 70 not knowing and 30 knowing. All right. And then we have the legislative. The legislatives are those that are charged with, creating the laws, amending the laws, and passing the laws. We call them the senators, and then the National Assembly, of course, consists of, the Senate. The senators are 109. We have 3 senators from each state and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory. And then they are also called the upper chamber. You can call them the upper chamber. You can call them the red chamber. And then the House of Reps, those are called the green chamber or the lower chamber. And those ones consist of 360 members, from each constituencies from the different states in Nigeria. So the National Assembly is actually made up of the senators and then the House of Reps, which are also called the upper chamber or the lower chamber, and then the red chamber and the green chamber. And for the House of Assembly, we have the Federal House of Assembly. The states too have their own House of Assembly. And of course, the local governments have their own House of Assembly, which are the councillors. So your councillors are actually the legislators at the local government level. And then currently we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. And then to the last arm of government, which is the judiciary. These are the ones that are charged with interpreting the law. And their head is actually the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which is by appointment. They are the ones that will tell you, the legislators will make the law, and then the judiciary will tell you this is what it means. So for example, now, if the legislators say nobody must go out after 9 p.m., the judiciary can come and interpret that as nobody must go out of their local government area after 9 p.m. Or they can interpret it as nobody must go out of their states by 9 p.m. Or they can interpret it as nobody must go out of their houses by 9 p.m. Or they can even interpret it as nobody must come out of their room or their kitchen by 9 p.m. So the judiciary is actually very powerful because they are the ones that are tasked with interpreting the law. And then we have pathways to good governance. Political literacy is very important. Like I said at the beginning, you have to know better before you can do better. A lot of Nigerians are politically illiterate. And the problem is that we claim we know. It is said that when someone does not know and the person knows that he does not know, at least he can be helped. But when you do not know, and then you're arguing that you actually know, then you can't be helped. And that is, the issue with a lot of Nigerians. We argue ignorantly, we argue without facts, we argue blindly. If I ask now, how many people have the Constitution? If you have the Constitution, if you've read the Constitution, I would want to see your response in the chat box. Just say yes or no. Do you have the Constitution? Have you read the Constitution? Because the Constitution is actually the Bible of the Nigerian. It is our Bible as a country. You see, I can see a lot of no, 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 and then few yeses. So if you don't even know what is contained in the Constitution, how can you demand better? How can you even ask for accountability if you don't know what you're supposed to ask for? Okay, at least I can see few yeses. So shortly after the class, we're going to post the link to an e-copy of the Constitution for those who may not have it. Please go through it, read it, meditate on it. In fact, cram it. You know how you used to cram your books when it's time for exams? Cram the Constitution so that you would know what is there and you would know what to actually expect, what to demand, from those that have been elected to serve. I like saying this quote that public servants should be focused on serving the public, as the name implies. Public servants should actually be focused on serving the public because that's what they are called, public servants. You should be there to serve. And one way to actually achieve that is by financially unattractive offices. It's interesting that, an average senator probably earns, let's say, from 450 to 750 thereabouts as take home. But by the time you add their bonuses, their allowances, their this and their that, we're talking millions. So everybody wants to get there. Everybody wants to have a share of the national cake. So it's hard to know who really wants to go there because they want to serve. It's hard to differentiate those that are going there for their personal interest and those that are going there for just, to serve the people. Just imagine today that you have no access to funds as a public servant. You have no access to stealing funds, to corruption, to anything. You just go there, you just serve, you're probably placed on a strict salary. A lot of people would not want to go there because they'll be like, why should I stress myself? It's not easy to be a public servant. That's the truth, because a lot of people point fingers at you. They don't know you, but you'll be the cause of all their problem. Even if their dog dies, it is because of you that you're in power. That's why their dog dies. So it's not easy to be a public servant. So when we have financially unattractive offices, it makes us know those that are really there for the love of country. What we do at Electoral College, we offer these courses for free. In fact, I was speaking with a friend yesterday and she was like, give me the account details where I need to pay, to register for the course. And I was like, it is for free. And she was shocked. She was like, how are you giving so much value for free? How are you putting people together, putting facilitators that on a good day, you cannot have access to them. How are you bringing them to teach, Nigerians for free? And you're doing this for the 18th time. She could not understand it. That is what the love of country is. And that is what the Electoral College stands for. That is one thing you will learn before you're done with this course, the love for country. It is easy to say, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. Nigeria should not happen to you. But if we love Nigeria, I tell you, we'll do the right thing. And if we do the right thing, Nigeria will be better for everybody. So it is one thing that you must learn before you leave this course, before you graduate from this course, before we can certify you that you truly came and you attended this course and you deserve our certificate. We must have seen that love of country in you. We must have seen character in you. We're not just here to teach you about politics and legislative and judiciary. We're here to teach you how to be a better citizen, how to put your country first, how to be a patriot, right? And then participation is another avenue to good governance. You cannot change a system where you don't participate in. You cannot change something when you're lackadaisical about it, when you're not involved. And this affects a lot of Nigerians. We say, oh, the president is this, the governor is this, the local government chairman is this. But when they were having elections, did you even know in your local government area, did you go out to vote? Do you even know who the candidates were? But after they are now selected or elected, whichever it is, you now start complaining. So participation is very important. And it does not just end in voting. It doesn't end in voting. We were having a conversation yesterday at a meeting with the executive director, and he was giving an example that the people are already selected for you. So you don't have so many choices. It's like choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea. So when they tell you orange and guava, and then you don't have a choice to choose mango, it's either orange or guava. Then if you don't like orange or guava, you're stuck because those are the only choices. So for you to actually have mango and pawpaw and pineapple and the different types of fruits, you have to participate. We tell people, join a political party. Stop saying that, oh, I don't want to participate in politics. If you say I don't want to participate, then you have no right to criticize whoever is being elected because you have sold your freedom. You have thrown away your responsibility. So you shouldn't complain and say, oh, this person is not doing the job. Did you participate? Do you belong to a political party? I'm sure, the ED will do a very good job of this by the time he comes to tell you how little people participate, in political parties. And yet we want the change. We are the change. Nobody's coming to save us. We are the change we're looking for. This is a quote by Abigail Spamberger, and she says, good governance should be an expectation, not an exception. It's high time that we stop clapping for things that should be normal. It's high time we stop being awed by the barest minimum. So a governor, for example, goes to commission some roads and there's so much jubilation. This is because the expectation has become so low. You're there to actually serve the interest of the people. So doing your job should not be something that, it will now be a cause for celebration. It's because we've been so, what's the word now? Is it even traumatized? I don't know if I should use traumatized, that whenever the barest minimum is done, it's such a big deal for us. But good governance should actually be an expectation, not an exception. If the person is not doing what he or she is supposed to do, you should have the power to recall that person. I hope you know that you have the power to actually recall your legislators. You have that power. This person is not representing our interests in this state, in this constituency. Let him come back. Let her come back home. Let somebody else go there for us. That is it. The highest office in the land is the office of the citizen. You are more powerful than the elected office. That is the truth, because they are there because of you. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But it is until we as citizens, we as the electorate understand this and rise up to our responsibility, rise up, to participate, rise up to demand more. There's a quote that says that truth makes a man unfit to be a slave. As long as you don't know the truth, as long as you don't have the knowledge, you remain a slave. They'll usually say when you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. That is sad, but to some extent, it's true. How many people actually read? A lot of people are on TikTok. They know what's happening on Bella Niger. They know what's happening, with Wizkid and all that. But how many of us know the bills that are about to be passed? How many of us know the impact of those bills? How many of us can actually say that this is what is happening and this is why it's happening and this is what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen? These are the conversations that we need to have if we really expect a change. So I'll just end here. It's going to be an amazing course. Whatever it is that you've known before about politics, please drop it, because we'll challenge your theories, we'll challenge your mindsets. So be ready to unlearn and then learn and then relearn. We have an amazing bouquet. I'm sure for those on the group, you should have seen it, your course outline. It is very rich. 29 modules of amazing courses that will be taken by experts facilitators. So just be ready, be ready to learn, be ready to get the power that would come from the knowledge of being part of this course. Thank you very much. We'll take the introduction of the management team at this moment, and then afterwards we'll take questions. Shola, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, DED. That was interesting. Refreshing my knowledge. Thank you so much. And I trust that we all had a beautiful time listening to that wholesome introduction of politeracy and governance. What she did was to give you an overview of what to expect during the next couple of weeks. So keep your minds sharp, keep your minds ready. I don't know if there are questions in the chat box, but whilst I go through the chat box, if there are questions that you have, please indicate by raising up your hand, and I would call you one after the other to ask you to unmute to ask your questions. So I'm still going through the chat box. I would also look out for any hands raised. None at the moment. Someone says, if we have 3 arms of government, then I don't think the judiciary should be based on appointment by the executive. You will learn more. You will learn more. You will learn more. Okay, I'm still looking for. Someone says, we've been conditioned to accept incompetence. Okay. Okay, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments. We celebrate mediocrity in Nigeria. It's good that we are all here so that we can learn to do better. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't see any questions. I'm going back to check if there are hands raised. Okay, there are no hands raised. Means that this overview was very well delivered by our head of politeracy and deputy executive director. Okay, that's really good. Do we have any questions with respect to your onboarding? If there are, this is a good time, I believe.
Shola, let me take this up from here. Good day, everyone.
Okay,
good day, Lisa. Good day. Good day. Lisa, that's DD. Thank you very much for giving much basis or beginning to this course. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kune Lawal. I serve as the Executive Director of the Electoral College Nigeria. On behalf of the board and everyone else, would like to welcome you all to the 18th cohort. First and foremost, I'm sure you'd want first question now, so I'll try to run a brief history of the Electoral College. Sometime in 2019, a few of us ran for office and we participated in quite a lot of things. We've also participated at party level, at national level. You'll find this out as we go on. There's no need for a bio today. And we found out that political literacy in Nigeria, the Electoral College presently puts that at 82%. That means 82% of people in Nigeria are politically illiterate. I also would like to add that it's also critical to know that about 68% of the people that serve in public office do not understand jurisdictions of their office. So it's quite a quagmire. Most people, I saw the comments on the Constitution. A lot of people say they know it. Yeah, we're fine. We're not arguing, but we would open up quite a lot of things during this bouquet. What I must make critically clear is that the Electoral College is very, very keen on attendance and participation while you're with us. Most of the time, and you can take this quote home to the bank, As the executive director, I'm ready to pass to people if that's what it takes. I repeat this always, and I know you
Yeah.
might dislike me for that position right now, but we're very keen to people who hold our certificates and how they handle it. I'm available to answer questions. I'm just giving you a whole peripheral of how it goes. So I don't know when will when will the party groups be open for conversations? Is it from Monday for the assignments or from tomorrow when they have their first class?
From tomorrow, we'll open it
Okay
after the
then.
class.
Okay, so after the class, your groups will be open. There are 5 parties existent, which are group 1 to 5. Within this course, you will also be virtually simulating almost everything that we are doing, and that means we're going to simulate party party politics. We're going to simulate running for office. We're going to simulate elections. We're going to simulate internal party primaries. I know you have a lot of questions about political parties, the structures or whatever. That's an entire course on its own. If you go over the most information, I will say what's key is your WhatsApp group. Your information is key, and what kinds of information are there is also key. Um, I would say, without trying to make much ado of this class, I would say I would leave it open for questions. Now, to ask a question, you must raise your hand. There's the raise hand on the Zoom footnotes, one of them. You just press the button and raise your hand. Secondly, I would like to say for those who have their names as Techno SX5, um, iPhone 14.9, Samsung S92. Your attendance will not be read. Please, by tomorrow, your names should come as your names that you registered in. That's the way our system is fully automated. That means there's an AI back end and I need to explain, there's an AI back end for the Zoom. So it takes in your attendance. And I'll tell you that if you are in a class and you do not what do they call it? You do not meet 60 minutes in that class, you will not be considered, your attendance will not be read. It's strictly AI. So it's not Kune that hates you, it's not the DED Lisa that hates you, it's not Adeshola who's there that hates you, or anybody else, or the manager of courts. It's strictly AI. We don't do anything. All we just do is take out the information. And we compile this information every week, which means almost every week I can give you your attendance clearance. But that's quite some hectic work. You should try to stay in class. So as regards anything regarding politics and governance, I'm available to, and the people calling me sir, please do not call me sir. I have been knighted by the King of England. Maybe when that happens, I would accept being called sir. My name is Kunilawal for now. So I'm available for short questions. And the question shouldn't be put in the chat box. Just raise your hand. Just signify, raise your hand, and you can ask any question, and I'll attempt to answer that. But for those who have written in the chat box already, Adeshola, you could maybe read out a few questions and we'll see what can be done. And I also critically state there are things you'll be talking about. Most people know let's say people have looked at the constitutions, though lawyers specifically believe that the constitution belongs to them. No, the constitution is the birthright of every citizen in Nigeria. There's a National Ethics Act, which guides, it's a policy that guides how citizens should behave in Nigeria. You'll be treating that. I will be taking that class if I remember. Yeah, I will be taking that class. You'll also be going through the Electoral Act, which is generally the handbook of elections in Nigeria. You would understand why, even though INEC promised automatic transmission in 2023, you had the rights to go back and because the Electoral Act empowers them to choose what mode of transmission they deem fit, which is why they went back to choosing normal collation and etc. So INEC didn't exactly break the law. They broke a morality clause to the people, but they didn't break the law, and which, of course, we know translated into people losing trust for them. But anyway, that aside, like I said, Adeshola, you can go through the questions. I don't know why nobody's raising their hands. I'm surprised in a class of 900 and something, we have less than 189 attending class. So I would like to say welcome everybody to the Electoral College. If you're patient, it's going to be a great ride. I will say everybody should be courteous. Everybody should be if you're an how do I put it? If you're a terrorist and you do that online and you do that on Facebook or Twitter, don't bring it here. Don't bring it here. As we take you in freely, the ED, the DED, and the manager of cohorts have full power to expel at will. I can expel in this class without thinking. So you can call me what you term a benevolent dictator, but I wouldn't use those powers except you force me to use them. So you need to understand that. So we expect full decorum in this class, full decorum in this class. There will be no whatever. And everybody's common. The way Nigerians are, everybody, oh yeah, Nigeria happened to me, this is that. We'll try to change your mindset. We'll attempt. We hope we succeed at it. But even if we don't succeed at it, park your bad behavior outside the gates. I am not joking about this. I'm saying this in the Didi will tell you that we've been on cohorts that we fired people, we've expelled people on the introductory class. I've done that how many times? Didi, about 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
So don't push me. I'm not the guy to push. So people are saying they have a question, and I don't know. The instruction is very clear, and they say hand is raised. I can't see any hand raised from here because I'm looking at it. Adeshola, I don't know whether you can notice if someone's hand is raised, or Didi, can you notice anyone's hand
I saw
raised?
some hands. Oh, yes, I've seen about 7 hands.
7 hands. Okay, so start to take them out. I'll try to answer the questions as they bring them along. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me see. I want to take it the order at which they show. Please, at the Electoral College, we try to keep our questions as concise and brief, okay? So as I call you, please keep it brief, at least a minute or under a minute. Abdul Karim, go ahead. Awal Shino Yomi. I hope I got that right. Go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Ma. So I would like to ask, how does a party reach a consensus?
Good day. Please,
We
you
can't
sound
hear you
kind of low.
properly.
Could you raise your voice? I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, sorry, sir. Good afternoon. I would like to know, how does a party reach a consensus during primaries without having to vote? Can you hear me, sir?
His question is, how can a party reach to get a consensus candidate when there is no voting involved? If I
Yes,
get
sir.
your question right.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So you do that in your political party and structure, but so that it does not seem like I don't know the answer, because if I tell you with your class, you say, "Oh, he doesn't know anything," so let me help you. A consensus candidate is being picked by, the hierarchy of the party. So let's say within a party, let's say a person is running for State House of Assembly and they want to pick the candidate as consensus. It will be up to the state electoral committee, the state executive committee, which will involve the chairman, the secretary, that's at state level, chairman, secretary, national publicity secretary, national treasurer, financial secretary, women leader, youth leader. They'll sit down and then with maybe a few elders of the state and then pick up a candidate for it. If it's at the federal level, same format of people that I mentioned, with a board of trustees of the party, and pick a candidate. That's how consensus works. So it's a decision by the hierarchy of the party on behalf of the party. That's by those who are elected to represent or lead the party. That's how they pick their candidates. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Good. Very well answered. I believe that Abdul Karim will be satisfied with that question. All right. Second person, Mustafa Isa. I think you've been asked to unmute. Go ahead, please. Mustafa. Oh, sorry. I muted you by mistake.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you for this
Good evening.
wonderful, for the love of our country. This is an encouragement for the citizens of Nigeria. And this is indeed an awareness, because what is happening now in a democratic society we are is lack of orientation, or even no orientation of the system. It is contributing a lot that we miss so many things from the government that we are deserved to enjoy. In the course of explanation, you made mention that when you didn't participate for your franchise right. That when you didn't vote for a leader, you don't have the right to complain to, is it criticize the leader? I just want to confirm, is it law? Thank you.
Is it what?
Is
Is
it
it
the law?
law?
Is it the law? So, the statement was
No,
made
no,
that if
no,
you
no.
don't, okay.
No, so I think the statement was made from a moral perspective. It's not the law. But
Okay.
only people who are invested in a democracy or only people who have participated actually will be able to hold accountable. And I'll give an example. If you were part of party primaries that led to the eventuality of a candidate coming out and the candidate now won the seat, you know that if he starts to misbehave and you question him and he doesn't, you now have the power to withdraw your delegate vote for his next campaign. If you weren't participatory or withdraw your vote generally, and if you weren't participatory in any of this, you just sound like a very loud lion or sound like, the usual activist, and nothing happens.
Okay. 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 All right. I hope that explains it for you, Mustafa. Obinna Okwara, please go ahead to ask your question.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good
Good evening.
evening.
Please a bit louder.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, we can hear you.
Getting better.
Okay, I'm a bit concerned about my onboarding. I realized that my name was not actually captured on any of the lists. But when I spoke with one of your teammates, I think one Moriam, she told me that I belong to PDP. So I hope that will not be an issue for me. That's just a concern, though. Then my question is on the primaries, on the election primaries. Is it conducted across different what's it called, elective positions, or is it just for the top positions like for governors, presidency, and so on and so forth? I just want to be clarified. Thank you.
So to answer your first question, as long as the error of omission which happened as regards party and you've been added in, you're of course added into the college and you're here. Secondly, yes, primaries are conducted at every level of every elective post. So the smallest elective post is the councillor, and that goes from councillor to president. So the smallest unit is at the ward, and the person elected there is the councillor. Highest is the president, and all those are elective posts. So they're primaries for all of them. They are not handpicked, even as much as state elections. We know there's a little hanky-panky, but there must be a primaries, regardless of whether the primaries was done with due diligence or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Edie. I think I just wanted to add to what Obina said. It could be that the fact that someone like Obina may not even know that these things run across all the positions is that a lot of us might not even know how primaries are conducted or have never even been a part of one. And to be a part of that, you have to definitely be a part of a political party. So I just thought to chip that in. All right, I'll take Ismail Saeed Abubakar. Let's have you ask your question. Ismail? Except you're not ready. I've asked you to unmute. Okay. Can you hear us? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening. Ask your
You can
question.
Good evening, how are you? Can you hear me?
There's a bit.
Can you hear me?
Go
Please
ahead,
tell him,
please. You can
please,
hear.
I can't hear him clearly though.
You can hear him. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, it's a bit
In the
muffled.
course of your explanation,
Good day. Please, could you
yes?
type your question? Type your question. I'll take it from there. So
Okay,
that we
Yeah,
don't waste time. Type your question. I can barely hear you.
yeah, it's muffled.
okay.
Thank you, Said. Thank you, Said. I'll go quickly to Jibril Abdul Hamid Alhaji. Jibril.
Wait, I have one question. Adishola.
Yes,
There
please.
are no women in this class.
I've looked at. I have actually.
Are they waiting for reserved seats?
No.
Oh,
No, ED. They're not. I'm looking
I'm
out for
just,
them. Name-wise.
I'm just concerned because most of the time, women decry poor participation and etc. But we don't get to hear from you. And later you say you are marginalized. Right now in this college, I would say within the management team, women are far more. But within this class, it's clear this class is waiting for reserved seats because I thought a woman would have asked the question by now. But I'm only having the men gender ask. So I'm not
You
one
want
of
the
the
men
men
to
that's
go ahead
trying to.
first.
No, no, no. Adishola, stop that bad campaign. What they call it? I expect to see women, and I expect them to participate. You know, the last cohort had a female president as the president of the cohort.
yeah,
I thought that was
Okay.
highly, highly great. Then
yeah.
we
Yeah.
now come to the 18th cohort, and the women are under the rocks. What's going on now?
Additional Bolaji is a lady. Maybe you.
Hmm?
Okay. Okay. But Mobolaji Okonlawon, are you
They are,
sure the person is a lady?
Yes, I think I saw.
Okay. Okay.
there are
So Jibril.
there are no reserved seats in this cohort. You should know that
All
one.
right, sir. Okay,
Hello.
Alhaji, please just hold off a bit.
Hello.
Let me just call.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you,
Uh,
hello, can you hear
hello.
me?
There is so much noise. What's going on, everybody?
No, it's from
Hello. Can you hear me?
Jibril. We can hear you, but your background is noisy.
Okay. Am I allowed to speak now?
What's your question, please?
Okay. I have the same concern as the earlier speaker, but although I saw my name in PDP, but it was not rightly captured. But as the what is it called? One of the facilitators already told, I think we'll take care of that. Then my question is this: in the course of your presentation, you mentioned something as a lackadaisical attitude, and the segment of pathways to good governance, you mentioned participation and what is it called, financially unattractive offices. So I would like you to, what is it called, expatiate more on that one. How do we curb that lackadaisical attitude towards political affairs? How do we get more people to participate in the politics and, of course, the decision-making process of our country? Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
one of the ways is why you are here. And like I said, preceding, you have a class, DD, what's the class number? 970, if I'm right? Is it
950.
97? Hmm?
950.
9 what?
950.
950, and we have 197 in class, if I'm right.
Yes.
197. You can take a camel to the stream, but you can't force it to drink water. I can
Yeah.
tell you that your graduation list might not even make 196. For people that have issues with their names, this is not the fora for it. You can see on the WhatsApp group who are admin. Reach out to them. Please, this is not the fora. Do not reach out to me. Okay, you won't know who I am, but don't reach out to me. Thank you. I think some people are trying to raise their hand. Is Echalia's name, is Echalia's hand raised? Adeshola?
Yes.
No,
No.
there's
But I
It's
want to
not
take Mobolaji
raised.
now. No, it's
no.
not.
Okay, take Mobalaji's on, then let Chalia raise her hand so that they can
All
get
right,
to her and
Mobolaji, go
unmute
ahead.
her.
Good evening.
Good
Can you
evening,
hear me?
Hi.
Mobalaji.
Good evening. My name is Obolaji Okalawan. I'm 16. I
You're
am taking the class.
16.
Yes, I
You're
am.
16.
Uh,
Mobalaji, I'm going to do something. Because
Wow.
you're the first woman that spoke, because you're the first woman that spoke, and for
Yes.
the fact that you are 16, I'm not going to
Yes.
encourage truancy. I'm not going to encourage truancy, but I'm going to give you 2 class attendants. Charlie, your
Oh,
hand is not raised. You're raising your hand as a smiley. Raise your hand on the Zoom what they call it, footnote. So Mobolaji, I'm giving you 2 attendants because you're 16 and because you're the first woman that decided to talk.
oh, thank you, Mr. Lawa. So Mrs. Mumi or Miss Mumi made a statement about changing our mindset about the current
Yes.
political situation in Nigeria. And my question is
Yes.
just to pick your brain a little. Do you, Mr. Lawal, think that our current system of government has the possibility of fully succeeding, seeing as our government
Sorry,
is
I think we
historically
lost
based
her.
on regionalism and is an issue
No, I
that we
can
still...
hear her.
Okay.
I can hear her now.
Okay.
Should I go on?
Yeah, you kind of talk fast, but
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
can go on.
So, as I was saying, Mrs. Wumi made a statement about changing our mindset about the current
Mm-hmm.
political situation in Nigeria. And my question is
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of pick your brain a little. So this is like opinionative. Do you, Mr. Lowell, think that our current system of government has the possibility of fully succeeding, seeing as our government is historically based on regionalism and is an issue that we still heavily face today?
Okay. Let me first ask the question. So, we're Nigerian, so I'll respond to the question. If I didn't think, and I like the fact you're still here so that it's a conversation. If I didn't think that democracy could succeed, we won't be in the electoral college. Secondly, for democracy to succeed, the Constitution is not going to stand up or the Electoral Act going to stand up and hit somebody on the head. The success of a constitution is how many citizens understand and know it. So,
Okay.
I currently think that as much as people think that our politics has been regionalized, that's not necessarily true. That is taking facts from, let's say, social media. Because
No,
as much
the
as
reason... Okay.
okay, go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, the reason why I brought up regionalism is because from my understanding, I did a bit of my geography school, and then from my understanding, I learned about how our government was initially formed with the three regions we had: West, East and South, and West, North and South, sorry, and how we had to change from regions to states with the different basis of governments, like the executive, legislative,
Yes.
and judicial. But then our government is still heavily influenced by regionalism. So my question is just like, even if, let's
No,
say,
no, no,
90%,
no, no. No,
yeah,
Mobolaji, you can't say that. Mobolaji, you're giving a hard fact. What are the bases? What are the statistics that ensure that our government is regionalized? Let's critically understand that. There's a difference when we are paying attention to a law which exists, which is the federal character. But saying that our government is regionalized is totally, I don't think, correct.
That's something to think about for sure.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And I like the questions you're asking. I think, no offense, but this is like the first question I think I've heard today that my brain moved an inch. So, Mobolaji, as much as, yes, we have some people that still think on the basis of region, I think that, and if you ask randomly of people here and who they voted in 2023, if they voted, I don't think they made those choices because of regions. I can say a lot of people here will be batified that are not Yoruba. A lot of people here will be articulated that are not Hausa or Fulani, to be precise. And there are a lot of people here who went behind Peter Obi and we're not Igbo. And it's critical to note that we have, as of 2023, we had 18 political parties. We have 19 now. We had 18 political parties. And those 18 political parties had presidential candidates. I think 17 had presidential candidates. And those 17 presidential candidates were followed by different people for different reasons and different parameters. So I can't say Nigeria, yes, in the basis, NCNC, MPN, UPN, they were regionalized. You're right about that. But coming into the new democracy, you can't call PDP Northern and you can't call APC Southern or Southwest. Neither can you call Labour Party Eastern. And that goes to show. Hello?
Yes, Mr.
Hello?
Lawal, I do agree with what you're saying about the current parties not being regionalized. But I feel like the current people running for offices or positions, the whole process has become so regionalized that people vote based on that mindset of regionalism rather than who is the best for the job, if you understand what I mean.
Mobalaji, I understand you clearly, but you also critically have to understand that you've not voted yet.
That's true.
Yes, so as you've not voted yet, I'm sure, and I know you at your age, and this is no offense, I'm not mocking you because of your age. I'm just trying to say you've not voted yet. Because when you make your choices, you wouldn't make those choices based on ethnicity. And I
Okay.
don't think, and as much as people say people vote based on ethnic, I don't agree. I've monitored elections across places. I've seen people lose places that you call strongholds, and I've seen people win places that they thought they were weak. You know, we always have blanket statements in Nigeria, which we know are not statistically based. Like I'll give an example. Um, how did APC lose Lagos in the presidential elections? Oh, I thought it was regional.
Oh,
Wasn't APC supposed to win the presidential in Lagos? Well, and what happened? So you can't regionally say that. And
that's
how did ABGA, which is Anambra, win an election in a gubernatorial when Peter Obi, representing Labour Party, and the Labour Party candidate didn't even get any vote close to even near scratching the surface? Would you
hmm.
call that regionalization?
No.
So you can't make blanket statements like that without facts. Yes, the average Nigerian on social media will come and type without thinking, and some of them are really popular, which is a massive problem. Would decide to start saying things like Nigeria is regionalized, constitution is useless. Mobolaji, you're 16, please, you're our future. We're doing all this for you. Do not join that train.
Okay.
Understand things. And a lot of people have started the conversation of ethnicity, which I don't even want to engage. I'm not going to engage because it's not statistically backed. If you want to have a conversation, you must be able to prove statistically why that is. And I've seen people that are not even from across Nigeria. I've seen people that are not even from the state win an election. So why are you saying it's ethnicity? At least I ran for Senate in FCT some years back, and I think I could pull quite a lot of votes. And I'm not even Gwari, so I don't understand what you're saying, please. Well, we're not speaking ideologically here. Some of us have actually lived and practiced this thing. So when you're talking from the outside, I seriously don't understand. Mobolaji, thank you very much. I'd like to move on to someone else. Charlie, you didn't raise your hands at all. I'm not
I think
seeing it.
they're raising it in the chat box.
No, I can see
Uh,
Charlie raised.
is
Okay, let me
Chalia
hear.
raising it? Okay, she's raising it
Let,
now. Okay,
let
she's
me
raising
ask
it now.
Charlie. I've asked Charlie to unmute. I would like to hear it from
Uh,
another woman.
Sorry, can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, Charlie. How's everything?
I've been raising my hands now, Sakule. Anyways, thank you so much, the Electoral College. Thank you, Madam Lisa. It was so enlightening. So, I take it personal when you say women are not interested. We're very interested. There are a lot of women on this platform. We're very interested. But the reason why I have a lot of questions to ask, but I just waited since today was like an introductory day, just to
Mm,
understand what it is. And I'm sure as the courses go by, a lot of questions will come. So it's just like a new student coming to school. You don't come with starting to ask
mm,
questions, You first get settled into class, and then you get to understand what is being taught. And then you ask your questions as the courses are going by. So it's not like I didn't have a lot of questions, or I'm sure a lot of women have questions. And one thing I wanted to say, observatory, is like a couple of times I lost network as the classes were going on, you understand? But I just said, let me bring it to the notice of the organizers at the college that sometimes you might have network issues and you have to reconnect. So some people might actually be in places where networks are not so strong. What happens? Will you consider that person not to be in attendance if they don't stay up to 60 minutes in the class? That's just an observation that I think should be considered,
But
that if someone was
but
able to,
well,
yeah,
Charlie,
yeah.
Charlie, thanks so much. Thanks so much. And if I didn't throw that jab to women, we wouldn't have known we had a 16-year-old here, which I think is so
Yeah.
impressive. And so I'm proud of throwing that jab to women. I try to challenge them to do things, and everybody, yes, Charlie is my personal friend. I like to challenge them to do things, but most especially as regards the attendance. It's not 60 minutes straight. It just means that the time you've spent in class totally meets 60 minutes. It's not 60 minutes straight. It will calculate your times, even the times you shot out and shot in, 10 minutes out, 10 minutes in, it will calculate your entire time. So the class can last maybe probably 2 hours, but your shot in time, shot out time would be 60 minutes, should be 60 minutes in total.
Okay,
That's
okay,
what we look
okay,
at. So it's
okay,
not
got
60
it.
minutes straight. That's why I need
Okay,
to explain
okay,
it.
okay, okay, got it. So, well, in my own defense, the reason why I wasn't asking questions, because I have a lot of questions to ask, was because I assumed today was just an introductory class. And as the classes go on, based on the topics that are coming up, just so we don't get mixed up of, because a lot of people have ideologies. And I like when Madam Lisa said, in this course, you're going to learn, unlearn, relearn, because a lot of us have different ideologies, just like the last speaker asked you on something, and it could just be based on ideologies that we know on what is happening, but they are not the truth or they are not the facts. So as the class goes on, we'll try to learn and bring in our own, because it's not just only about asking questions. We can also learn from each other based on experiences, I believe. So that's the reason why I had not asked any question today. So yes, that's my little.
Charlie, as the woman leader, thank you very much. And I'd like to first put I'd like to first say yes, we learn from each other. I think critically we all learn from each other. But I'll say there's only one thing that's common at the college, and we're key to that. When you bring something forward, it should be fact-based, it should be statistical, and it should be clear. We don't want to have or corrupt, what exactly exists or what is already known or what's statistically or fact-based. Like most people want to argue, like if when I gave Mobology 2 +2 in attendance, someone said that is corruption. I laughed. Do you understand? I don't know where you come from, whoever said that, and don't think I don't see everything. Whoever said that, the person needs to critically understand that to have a 16-year-old here, if you've met 16-year-olds that's dedicated to understanding what the country is, the person should be supported.
It's
I
commendable.
want,
It's actually
yes,
commendable.
yes, I want people to be better than me. I'm bad, though, but I want people to be better than me, and I think that's what's critical. So, and if you don't like it, you could go start your own college and have 18 cohorts. That's if you don't like it. So it's not that the college is mine, but that we've worked on this 18 cohorts, so I have the right to be able to give 2 attendances ahead, and that's my choice. And as regards the person who mentioned that cohorts, what they call it, are what they call it, people that were on YouTube. I mean, whoever mentioned that, Lisa, Didi,
I'm here.
Didi, grant everybody. It was a small technical glitch on our end. Grant everybody in the class today full attendance.
Okay.
We'll start tomorrow.
All right.
Nobody will say thank you for that, because it now
Thank
means
you, Mr.
indirectly.
Kunle.
Charlie, I stay here. It will now mean that I have only given Mobolaji 1. No, I've given her 2 now. So she still has her 2. That 1 meaning Mobolaji has 3. And Mobology, I'd like to see more of you in the class, and I'd like to see more interactions with you in the class. She asked a very intelligent question. I didn't think a 16-year-old would ask me that kind of question. And over the course of this, you might learn that fully. So do we have other questions, Adeshola?
We have 16
Yes, so
hands.
time is 16. Okay, can we do it quickly? Everybody, 30 seconds. Your question must end in 30 seconds. I'll respond
Yes,
in 30 seconds. No matter how long, I'll respond in 30 seconds back.
Good.
Let's go.
All
Now,
right.
let's go.
Omar Farouk, 30 seconds. I will begin the timing. Farouk. Okay.
Adeshola, if it's not there, move to the next person. Give everybody 10
Dominic,
seconds. If the person doesn't answer, move to the next person.
Dominic Mentawe.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So let me just go quickly because of time. I just want to ask this question regarding comparing our law with our political system. Do you think that we are practicing the real system that the law has enshrined? Because I noticed that our political system has a different tradition from what some laws has stipulated. And then if we are not, how can we go about giving orientation? How can we push maybe the National Assembly to ensure that every procedure that has been outlined in the Constitution is strictly adhered to during campaigns by politicians, to especially the issues of vote buying, controlling the media by the government in power, and suppressing the opposition. So how can we go about ensuring that our political system is sane with this kind of...
Okay, I've said it. So we have, I've mentioned it while I was talking, but I'll say it again. A constitution or an electoral act is only as powerful as the number of people in the nation that understand it. Less people that understand it, more people that can perpetrate issues. So now you have a political class that has left the constitutionally provided ways of handling issues and created a culture, and that's where we live. A lot of people walk around exercises or abuses of the constitution, and we've taken it to be a way of life, like a governor sacking local government chairman. We're cool with it. Now, even, I didn't think I would see in my lifetime again, president abusing Section 305 and throwing and suspending a governor and State House of Assembly. I don't want to comment directly, but what I'm trying to make clear is that we have created a precedence in Nigeria, a culture. Culture is defined as the way of life. So we've created a culture of how our political culture, which is away from the laws that guide this thing. So more people have to understand this cannot be done. More people have to understand that this is wrong. And then we can start to address this issue. So orientation is key. Political literacy is key. And we've said that multiple times on this cohort. I'm done with that question. Next question, Adeshola.
All right. I take the next person, Tedious. I've asked you to unmute Odion Yema. Please, apologies if I didn't pronounce it well. Tedious.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
good evening,
please.
everyone.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Thaddeus.
Yes, please, Mr. Kunle, thank you so much for clarity. At least I'm beginning to enjoy the class as early as possible. All right, my question is on the tiers of government. I want to know the specific roles which local governments play in grassroots development. What is the difference between state and federal responsibility, especially in areas like education and healthcare? Thank you.
Didi,
Yes, it is.
their class on Saturday is
On
local
Sunday.
government.
Yes.
You said on Sunday, you should be patient. It's not that I can't answer it, but be patient. Your class on Sunday is the local government structure. Check your timetable. You will be able to. I think all that should be cleared in that in that what they call a class. I'm loving the conversations. Everybody, Mobolaji has become a star. People are pushing for a defection to APC. I'm finding that kind of conversation very interesting, and I look forward to the fact that you guys will keep doing that. So next question. Some people are complaining that there are questions in the chat box. Olufunke, could I?
Yeah, should we take the
Adeshola,
question
sorry.
from the chat box?
Let me take one.
Okay.
Sorry, I was talking quickly. I don't know what's the way of looking. I was thinking of Ricky Hassan, and her full name came to my head.
Sorry, quite a number of questions. I don't know where to start from.
If you don't know where to start from, where would I know where to answer from?
No, I mean the questions go back to when Didi was speaking, but let me just take the one that is close.
No, take the ones that are closer.
Okay. All right. So somebody asked, what steps can be taken to advocate for the introduction or implementation of an electoral college system in Nigeria to enhance the country's democratic development?
I'm
Okay.
going to answer it quickly. You haven't finished with electoral reforms and e-voting. It's creating an electoral college system to vote in Nigeria. Come on. That's not far-fetched. Very far-fetched. There's no even need discussing the systems. Dominic Nentawe, you are not allowed to defect in the electoral college. It's not allowed. If you defect, I will expel you. I'm not joking. Oh. You see me being calm and everybody's enjoying me. If there are old people in this cohort in your party, they'll tell you who it is. I will not, if any defection, I will expel without thinking.
Okay, before you continue, you can see someone hand raised whose name is a number.
Yes, I was going to speak on that.
Yes, Adeyemi Blessing, please rename to capture you as that number and the attendance will not be taken. Please, Adeolu Adeyemi Blessing. I can see you wrote your name in the chat box, but your Zoom name is still showing as a number.
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you guys. Let me help you guys. DD, the code of conduct and the rules of the cohort, are they in the parties?
No, we haven't posted them yet.
Why
until
now?
everyone joins, but they are on the main group already. It's on the main group. We posted it earlier.
Please join your parties, look for your names, post that within the group. Please study because to end of cohort now, people will start crying. ED failed me. It's not me that failed you. You failed yourself. Don't come to me and start talking. Well, I won't even listen to you. Like I said, they've done this 17 times successfully, so don't think I would listen to you. Right now, it looks like we're the ones begging. That day of graduation, the story will change. I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Adeshola, please continue with the questions.
Okay.
I want to round up this class in 10 minutes.
Bye. Wow. Okay. Someone asked that, do you think the removal of the federal character would be beneficial to our system?
Now, I really don't understand the gains of the federal character. It's not really brought out. So I think federal character has trumped meritocracy. And that's why we have people who are serving in a place because they come from a particular state, not because they necessarily can serve there. And for me, I think that's a misnomer. So I personally, if you're asking what Kunle Lawal personally thinks, I think federal character has overused this time. Yes, it was interesting shortly after the Civil War, ensuring national cohesion, but we're past that. Federal character has no use in modern day Nigeria, for me. That's my own personal opinion.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that candid, honest feedback. So let me just go back to asking the questions. Audu Mohammed, APC, please quickly. We don't have time anymore.
Adeyemi Blessing, raise your hand. You are saying you have a question. You are typing it in the chat group. Your hands are not raised now. I can't see it.
Josiah Finehas, I've asked you to unmute. If I'm after telling you to unmute, if you don't unmute, I move on to the next person.
Please do that. Do that. Let's move. We don't have time.
All right.
Okay, I think it's my time, right?
Go ahead.
Okay, quick one. Thank you, Mr. Kunle and Lisa.
We cannot hear you, Josiah.
Can you hear me now?
Edie, can you hear him properly?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead,
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Mr. Kunle and Lisa, for this wonderful session. I will be quick in my question now. My question is relating to the three arms of the government, talking about the executive, which is headed by the president, if I'm right. Then the legislative, which is headed by that's in the two arms of the National Assembly, the House of Rep and the Senate is headed by an official, a member of the Senate and a member from the House of Rep. Now, coming to the judiciary, where my question lies. Now, the head of the judiciary is the Chief Justice of the Federation. Now, why is it that it's based on appointment, not by election within the bar system? That's my question.
Okay.
Oh, are you getting excited by Mexico, who is electing judges? They're not even electing their attorney general or their chief justice. They're just electing judges at a lower level. That's at their, let's say, high courts or appeal courts. Mexico is doing that. Is that what's exciting you? Is that what brought your dream that you could appoint you could elect a chief justice. I don't think Nigeria is yet ready for that. As much as we clamor for that and say no, the chief justice should be elected. We are not ready for that. Do you even participate? Nigeria also, I'll give you stats. Local government election participation has never exceeded 7%. Governorship elections has never exceeded 21% participation. And presidential right now, because of 2023, is stuck up about between 28 and 32% participation. That is you in Nigeria. Then Chief Judge, Justice of the Federation, you want 2% participation to elect the Chief Justice. So I think it's too delicate a position, and we're not yet there democratically
I
to
think,
begin to make or do to dream such ideologies.
okay, thank you so much, Edie. I think what might have necessitated his question was the principle of separation of powers. If we say that these are distinct arms,
I
and
understand, but like I said, I understand. I critically understand this question, but like I said, our democracy is not yet there. We're still having issues separating the executive from the legislative. Wait, is it not us Nigerians that when our governor is done with a tenure, we'll say, go ahead, go to the Senate and do what? Executive and legislative functions. That's where we are now. We're going to now start differentiating separation of powers between. So separation of powers between the executive and legislative is clear cut. Again, between the executive and judiciary is kind of modeled in every country. And then we can't handle the clear-cut one. Then we want to handle the one that's quite modeled. I don't think we're ready yet. I understand the separation of powers. We're not even near separation of powers yet because, let's be honest, 68% of the people in National Assembly do not even understand what they're supposed to be doing in the legislature. And so how let's not even talk about State House of Assembly. Nobody in the State House of Assembly is even up to 91%. I don't even know what they are doing there. And councillors in Nigeria don't even know they are the smallest legislative units. They don't even know. They agree they have a speaker. All of them know they have a speaker, but they don't even know they are to make laws. So we have a serious problem. And I can tell you that if I even told people here who think they're very politically aware, they don't even know councillors are legislative. So how can you, if we don't yet understand that councillors are legislative, how are we going to understand how to elect a chief justice or an attorney general? It's a big problem. So we're not ready for it. Our democracy is not that old yet. No, it's not that it's not that old. It's not that smart yet.
I thank you very much, sir.
Joshua Sampson. Okay, yeah, quickly. Joshua Sampson. Quickly.
Next person.
Daniel Alexander, I've asked you to unmute.
All right. Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Joshua Sampson. Kudos to the whole work you're doing. So my question is around the electoral amendment. I'm part of the campaign with the other coalition of CSOs looking to see these amendments and the new Electoral Act 2022 reforms. So, and we've been going up and down. One of my first questions is to the Ministry of Justice, AGF. Now, why does the Electoral Offences Commission bill still place regulatory powers under the Attorney General's office? And how will this guarantee impartiality? And then also to INEC, which is something that has been bothering me. So how can INEC demonstrate greater independence from the executive arm without constitutional amendments? Thank you, sir.
First and foremost, for INEC, the Conservative Fund was supposed to enable INEC do that because right now, the way it is, instead of it taking money from the executive, there's a pool of resources in which the executive puts in and then INEC draws from. So we thought the Conservation Fund for INEC elections would help with that. It didn't help with that. That's why the Electoral Offences Act, where do you want it to be domiciled in? The legislature or the executive? It has to go under the office of the Attorney General, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Cannot be anywhere else. And he's the custodian of the law, and I think that's where it's supposed to be domiciled. It shouldn't be domiciled anywhere. Or you want it domiciled with the police in Nigeria, prepare for mayhem. So I think it's fine where it is. We just need to demand transparency, better transparency with where it is. As regards INEC, INEC, I love Nigerians. So when Labour Party wins in Abia State, INEC is independent. When APC loses primaries in Lagos State, INEC is independent. When an MPP wins Kano, INEC is independent. When ABGA wins Anambra, INEC is independent. But when Labour Party wins FCT, INEC is independent. But when APC wins Oyo State, INEC is not independent. When APC, come on. For the first time in Nigeria, we have 5 governors from different parties: the APC, the PDP, ABGA, NNPP, and Labour. For the first time in Nigeria's history, we have 8 parties in the National Assembly. Yes, our elections are not where they're supposed to be, but they are no longer as bad as they used to be. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say because ED said this, ED is an APC man. No problem. As we go along, you find out I'm not. I'm not here to pander to your biases. I'm just trying to explain how things really are. So,
All right.
you said?
So sorry, sir. I just want to ask a question to what you just asked. So do you think should the Electoral Act allows voters to accredit using the NIN card or international passport, where if the PVC is unavailable at the moment?
I've argued that we don't even need a PVC. My argument has always been that the NIN card could represent everything. But everybody has to buy server in Nigeria. Everybody has to have database in Nigeria because it's money to run it, and that's where the problem lies. I believe that just one national identity card, like you have in the UK, can serve as a PVC, serve as a driver's license, serve as everything else. And I think that can happen, but we have to make those choices.
All right. Moving on. Thank you, Edie. Adeyemi Blessing. I've asked you to unmute, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, straight to my question. I want to really appreciate the fact that I'm even beginning to enjoy the class. And my question goes thus. We were grouped into 5 classes. I want to ask, are the whole 5 classes taking the lectures at once, or this is just for the introductory aspect? And if yes, how are we going to be managing the fact that everybody wants to make contribution properly by asking questions? Because I believe whether we like it or not, there might be leftovers. People who wanted to maybe contribute their part of their response and the likes. If there are provisions for that anyway, so I just want to know.
When your parties are open, everybody attends the class. I don't know why you think your groups are for you people to compete against each other and do some internal stuff for each other. Those are what your groups are for. Everybody attends the class here. Everybody will attend the same class, not another class. And there are always questions. And once your groups are open, you'll be able to ask multiple questions. You'll be able to do stuff together. And you'll be able to send questions to me or to anybody who can answer, or the facilitator, etc. So I think that it's only right that these things are possible, and I think that we can get this done.
Thank you very much, sir. That's just
Daniel.
what I wanted.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good
evening, Mr. Kunle and every other person. Thank you for this time. My question and maybe one observation go as follows. There was something Mobolaji said about people voting according to their ethnicities. I think it's more or less like politicians campaigning based on their ethnicities and religious basis. That's an observation. However, the question I want to ask is, over these reforms we are trying to achieve in our democracy, wouldn't much blood be shed to get things done, considering the various traumas we've survived? I don't think there's any.
Excuse me, which trauma have you survived, please?
For instance, NSAS 5 years ago, thereabouts.
Were you in Lagos? Were you in Lagos?
I was in a place where it was.
Were you in Lagos?
No,
simple question. Were you? Thank you for your answer. June 12, were you there?
I was in the north.
Did you vote? Did you vote during June 12?
Everybody ran away in the north.
Everybody ran away.
Yeah,
Where do you?
people ran away.
Let me help you. My name is Kunle Lawal. I was born and raised in a town called Zaria, which is in Kaduna State. So there's
I
no
was in
everybody
Kaduna.
ran away in the north.
No, I
There's
was
no
in
everybody
Kaduna.
ran away in the north. Oga,
Oh,
like I
yes, sir.
said, be factual in this conversation. If not, we cannot have a
Okay.
conversation. Everybody
Okay.
did not run away because I ended up finishing school 2001 in ABU Zaria, which means I did not run away. So I do not understand the question that you say everybody run away. Please do
No,
not sell that in this class.
okay.
Please, I'm critical with it. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'll be very calm in this class. Please, I'm critical with it. Do not falsify information or throw information around. They don't do that
Oh,
here.
my apologies. I withdraw that statement. What I wanted to say is that there was this kind of people were tensed up. People actually left. Not everybody left. No, that's not what I was trying to say. But people, left. So what I'm trying to ask, please, in summary, is that to achieve this change, this paradigm shift in the right direction, won't we have, the reactionary forces making people to pay the ultimate sacrifice? It's like the country is even sliding into a one-party system almost. It's like, I'm not saying it is, all these defections.
Wait. I also need to correct that. There was a
Please
time
do
in
so.
Nigeria, sometime preceding 2003, 32 states were controlled by the PDP and Abuja. 2 states in the north were CPC, one state was AD. Nobody called Nigeria a one-party state. Now you have 5 parties as governors, and you're calling Nigeria a one-party state. Please,
No, although I said
please,
sliding
please.
into, I said
It
sliding
is not
into.
sliding anywhere. It's not sliding
Okay.
anywhere into it.
Okay. So my question still is, won't those who want to effect change, like we are in this college, won't there be sort of people being made to pay a very serious price, including sacrifice of life? Because the people who are holding power and benefiting from the system won't give up without a fight. My question is, don't you see that they would deal with people seriously that want to effect?
Let me give you an example.
Okay, sir.
If you are a hammer, the only thing you'll be able to see is a nail.
Yes.
In the time I have served in politics and governance, which exceeds from about 2013 to present.
Yes.
Even without having an office,
Yeah.
I've been able to work and effect bills that have changed your own life. I just don't want to talk about them now, but have changed your life. So who said to effect change means you must shed blood? The truth is, where they've used blood to try and effect change, okay, all the countries that were shouting Arab Spring, how far now? How are they doing? I'm asking you now. Yeah, they toppled their government. How are they doing now?
Okay, but
I'm
it's not that
asking you, how are they doing?
they are back to
It's a
square
simple
one.
question. Share is blood now. How are they doing? How are they doing now?
Yes, they went back to square one.
Square one, or they've gone beyond negative. They've gone past negative. So blood does not, it was in the 40s or in the 50s that blood and whatever is to change narratives. It doesn't change that in the new world. You have to strategically think or intellectually outsmart. It's like a game of chess. Intellectually outsmart the opposition. And that's what you're here to do. Learn to think. And it's not Mr. Kunle that will be taking all of the classes, please. Mr. Kunle is just here as ED. I'll take one class and then from there you go on with other people. Though I think I take the most classes in the college. Those are,
All right,
I'd like to
okay.
correct, we can intellectually advance and do great things.
Okay,
Okay, I
thank
see
you
Presido.
very much.
All right, thank you. Presido, Rabia too. I'd like to just take you quickly before I go to Fermi. Rabiatu? Oh, I don't see you anymore. Okay. Fermi.
Emoji. Oh, it's WOG. You're welcome.
Good evening, Good evening, Miss Lisa. Thank you so much for this insightful platform. All right, so Miss Lisa, you mentioned that electoral rights are not tied to state of origin, but are rather influenced by cultural factors. And I think Edie also
Can
mentioned, not directly.
can I correct that? She didn't mention it. It's
All
it's
right, sir.
constitutional. She didn't mention it. She's not the one. It's not Lisa that invented it. There's no law in Nigeria stopping you from running. And if you think these people are just theorizing it, Charlie is on your cohort. Charlie knows I ran for Senate in 2019 in Abuja, and I'm not worried. So I'm telling you, there's no law against that. I'm the one telling you. It's basic. It's law. It's not us that invented it. We're not the electoral college saying it. It's how your country's laws are structured.
All right, thank you so much, sir. But I just wanted to give like a practical example of what had happened to me. So sometimes back I tried to join a particular and
You said you
okay,
what?
I'm from I said sometimes back I tried to join the political system and try to contest at the premier election at the world level. And one thing that I was always hearing was that, oh, you're from Osun State. And for me, I was born and bred in Ibadan specifically. So I've had to face this issue of limitations and discrimination in a way, all because I have origin ties to Osun State. And when I come, and I think this is particularly in some aspect of Nigeria, because some states are quite less in that. So how do we address this issue of this limitation and this discrimination issue? And I think it also reflects a broader national challenge for me, because if people are being limited or being marginalized in a way for where they have lived and contributed massively to the development of that particular area, simply because they are considered non-indigenous. So how do we address this issue in some part of
I have a
Nigeria that?
question. I have a
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think it is network.
Hello.
Okay, we can hear you
Yeah,
now. Go
hello.
ahead.
When did you make your intention clear that you're going to participate in that primaries? When did you declare? What year? You declared in 20.
Sorry, I'm finding it difficult to hear the ED.
Yeah, he's having glitches.
Mm.
Edie, go ahead with your question again. You said when was
Yeah,
he?
so I'm
When did he
asking,
declare?
when did he declare and when did he participate in the party?
All right, so I joined this particular party in 2019, and I declared around 2020, shy 2022.
Were you participatory in the party throughout the time?
Yes, yes. I attended local meetings and
I thought you said you attended party primaries. I was saying that's not what I'm
no, no,
trying to.
no,
And
sir.
if the said party didn't give you a ticket, if you felt you were still popular, why didn't you join the other ticket?
I didn't get that question, sir.
If the said party rejected you, why didn't you join another ticket?
All right. So after consultation with stakeholders in my particular community, it was all discouragement, particularly because my name is quite like when people hear my surname, they automatically can tie it that I'm not from Ibadan or I'm not from that particular state. So for
Okay,
every
sir.
people that I had to approach and meet, it was just
Oga,
from the first time
Oga,
introduction.
you chose to allow it defeat you. Who told you when I was running I didn't hear my own? Who told you when I was running I did not go through it too? I did. You chose to allow it defeat you. The choice was yours. Nobody stops you. You chose to allow it defeat you. And I'll tell you that a lot of cosmopolitan places actually have more non-indigens with voting power than indigens. And if you refuse to acknowledge that, if you've taken those stats into consideration, I don't think it should have been a problem. But you could have found a party that would have given you that ticket, but maybe you really wanted to run on that party. And if you could galvanize the support, which was enough for you to win, then I don't think it would have stopped you. Meanwhile, if you people haven't read your laws, it is what's the word? Forbidden to contact the ED because I'm seeing phone calls coming from students. I'm seeing text messages coming from students. I'll tolerate it today. Next person I say, I'll throw out of the class. So guys, I think we've exhausted everybody's day. Tomorrow is the executive. We look forward to a great conversation with you guys. I hope the class attendance will be more improved. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I am, Edie.
Lisa, open up the class groups today, the party
Oh,
groups today.
okay.
Okay.
Drop the code of conduct and everything so that everybody can read. Not the one that when things happen now, they'll say the college didn't tell them. So please, they should go through everything. Thank you everyone for your time.
Edie, can they reserve these questions they have for you tomorrow?
Nobody should ask me any question. Tomorrow, if it's not the executive, if you strain 1 inch outside the executive, I would ignore the question. Because there's so much in the class. There's so much in the class for you to get. There's so much that you'll be taught in front. Why do you want to swallow everything today?
We exhaust all of
Calm
it
down,
today.
man.
Yeah. So you
Even
still have a
me,
long
they
way
don't
to
know.
go.
Yes, ED has finished for today. I finished. They want to take everything from me. I don't know. Chill. We'll
All
get
right.
there.
Thank you,
So
everyone.
thank you everyone that
You will
chose
have the
to open the class
opportunity.
today for conversations. The group send the DD, please send another one in that if everybody is not in a party, we'll continue our conversation and nobody should talk then because we won't beg anyone. So thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for everything you've done. I look forward to a great class tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a whole different ball game. Welcome to the 18th cohort.
Thank you. All right, DED, over to you. I would like to pass on the virtual lectern to the manager of cohorts, Mr. Tolu. He has 1 or 2 words for the class.
I think Mr. Tolu can just drop it on the groups now. Since everybody's already signing out, nobody will hear it. Let's play it like that, please, guys. Thank you very much.